Previously, an office worker passed away after being caught up in a tragedy involving a police officer and a burglar. He cried in agony, and his cries reached God. He was then reborn in a magical world as a healer with a blessing from God. He joined a healer guild to become stronger and began training with a seasoned adventurer named Broad to hone his martial arts skills. The sun rises, and it's another day of training as Broad and Lucille team up once more. To Lucille's surprise, Broad suggests giving him a day off, something he hasn't had since he began his training. This leaves Lucille feeling a bit confused about what to do next. However, Broad comes up with an interesting idea. He recommends that Lucille learns how to butcher some monsters. Though puzzled, Lucille understands that it's essential to get familiar with these creatures. With that in mind, Lucille sets out on his off day, strolling down the hallway until he reaches the cafeteria where the butcher, Gala, awaits. Strangely enough, Gala bears an uncanny resemblance to Gulgar, the chef. They prepare to start the butchering process, and to Lucille's amazement, Gala pulls out a massive boar from a tiny bag. Lucille can't wrap his head around how such a huge thing could fit inside such a small bag, but Gala laughs and explains that it's a magical bag. With patience and care, Gulgar guides Lucille through the step-by-step process of butchering the boar, even explaining the logistics of transporting the meat. But then, he looks at Lucille with a meaningful expression and reveals that butchering isn't the only reason Broad sent him there. As the butcher's place boasts a wide variety of monsters, Lucille soon learns that he's here to discover their weak points and the best ways to attack them. The mere thought of fighting real monsters sends shivers down Lucille's spine. You see, Lucille is skilled as a healer, but the idea of facing these creatures in combat terrifies him. However, Galga kindly explains to Lucille that his presence has made a significant difference. Since Lucille arrived, the fatality rate among adventurers has drastically declined. Hearing this, Lucille feels a sense of pride in his accomplishments. To continue their lesson, Gala surprises Lucille by pulling out a horned rabbit beast from his magical bag. This sight freaks Lucille out a bit, but he tries to keep his composure. Although it's already dead, Lucille can't help but feel hesitant as he touches the raw meat. The reality of this process sinks in. It's an essential part of life, even if it makes him uneasy. Deep down, he knows that understanding these creatures better will ultimately benefit everyone, and this thought brings him a sense of calm amidst his initial discomfort. Later in the evening, after a day of butchering, Lucille is utterly exhausted, slumped at the bar. Gulgar, noticing his smelly clothes, advises him to change. Lucille steps outside to wash his clothes, and he's approached by Nanella, who seems genuinely concerned about his well-being. However, as tired as he is, Lucille can't help but imagine Nanella as the very bunny he had just dissected earlier. It's a bizarre thought that leaves him feeling a bit unsettled. Despite his uneasiness, Nanella takes hold of Lucille's hand and offers him comfort, understanding that the day must have been tough for him. She explains that even for seasoned adventurers, slaying monsters without hesitation can be incredibly difficult. Lucille finds solace in knowing that Nanella feels the same sense of remorse as he does. Later in the night, Lucille blesses his meal, a dish made out of the rabbit beast he had butchered earlier. As he enjoys his food, all seems to be going smoothly until Gulgar approaches him with yet another cup of Substance X. The next day, Broad surprises Lucille with another rest day, and he finds himself pondering how to spend it. Lucille notices that the stronger he becomes, the harder it is to level up, just like in a role-playing game. Lost in thought, he turns a corner and is suddenly grabbed by Nanella, Manila, and Meryl, who have decided to teach him a lesson. With playful determination, they led him down the hall and into the library. In the library, sitting at a table, the girls present Lucille with books on monsters, armor crafting, laws, religions, food mythology, and medicine. Lucille wonders if delving into all this knowledge is truly necessary. However, he decides to start with books on monsters, which seems to disappoint the other two girls as they get up and leave him alone with Nanella. He worries that Nanella might get into trouble for spending too much time with him, but she smiles and reassures him that it's part of her job to assist him. Nanella points out different places on the map and explains who manages what. Lucille is surprised to learn that the country he's currently in is the only one that has abolished slavery. From that point onward, Lucille dedicates his rest days to studying, balancing between training, learning from books, and completing various errands. As a year and a half passes by, Lucille becomes noticeably stronger and more muscular. He proudly holds the guild's earning ranking high while examining the monthly rankings, where the lineage of the White Wolf sits at the top again. As the girls playfully press up against him, Lucille feels a bit embarrassed and politely asks them to back up, resulting in a playful tickle session. They notice that his clothes no longer fit, so they decide to go shopping for new ones. Lucille compliments Nanella on her outfit, as he isn't used to seeing her in street clothes. Together, they hit the shops, trying on a wide variety of outfits. Lucille expresses his gratitude to Nanella for paying for everything, but she surprises him by explaining that Broad gave her the money to spend. Out of the blue, a woman begins to scream, and Lucille runs toward where the sound came from. He was shocked to see Monica lying in a pool of her own blood. Later that night, Monica regains consciousness, finding herself in the guild with Nanella and Lucille by her bedside. She has no recollection of what happened, and Lucille explains that he tried to cast heal on her, but it had no effect, so he had to resort to using cure for her recovery. Nanella speculates that it might have been the work of a mercenary, leaving Lucille wondering who could have paid to poison Monica. Monica shares a distressing story about how healers can be ruthless, mentioning a friend who got sold into slavery because she couldn't afford to pay for the services of the person who healed her. Public objection to the healer's actions could have led to the attempted assassination. Lucille is concerned that they might try to poison Monica again, but she reveals that she suspects Bataculi to be behind the attempt. Nanella informs Lucille that Bataculi runs the largest healer guild in the country. Lucille advises Monica to hide out at the Adventurers Guild until the situation calms down. Despite the tense relationship between healers and adventurers, Lucille reassures Monica that she will be safe there. In the cafeteria, Lucille is deeply concerned about the value of life in this world. He makes a promise to himself that he will continue to work hard until he becomes strong enough to make a difference. Monica walks in, looking pale, and expresses her gratitude to Lucille for his help. She asks how much she owes him, but Lucille insists that she has already done enough for him, and he is merely returning the favor. He kindly offers her some food, which touches Monica deeply, and she is surprised by the kindness shown by everyone in the guild. The man responsible for attacking Monica is eventually apprehended about a month later, but they never discover who hired him. Monica decides to stay at the Adventurers Guild and work there instead of the Healers Guild, a decision that fills the guild members with joy and cheer. 2 months later, Broad bursts into the guild looking for Lucille, which surprises him. Broad urgently informs him that there are adventurers close to death after being attacked at a coal mine in the southeast. Lucille and Broad rush to the injured party located at the inn. When they arrive, Lucille is shocked to see the extent of the injuries, with many people laid out in pain. Guided by Broad, Lucille attends to Basura, who is the most severely wounded. Despite the difficulty, he manages to save Basura using multiple healing spells. As he attempts to move on to the other injured adventurers, he becomes weak due to his low HP. Broad quickly provides him with a magic potion, which restores his strength. Lucille then begins to heal everyone in the room, but the exertion takes a toll, and he eventually passes out. The next day, Lucille wakes up to find Nanella by his bedside, fast asleep in a chair. He feels a sense of relief knowing that he managed to save 3 members of the lineage of the White Wolf, but he can't help feeling sorrow for the inevitable deaths of the others. It's a reminder of the harsh reality they face as adventurers in this world. With tears in his eyes, Lucille becomes even more determined to work harder than ever before. As a year passes, Lucille takes a moment to reflect on his growth and achievements. He looks over his stats, feeling a swell of pride in how far he has come. His hard work and dedication have paid off, and he now stands stronger than ever, both in skills and character. He now sports a long ponytail, symbolizing his growth and evolution. With that, our episode comes to an end. Feel free to comment if you're interested in following more of this exciting series. Thanks for your time. If you stayed until the end, please like and subscribe for more.